Classic Microcomputers. Have I got a treat for you? What about if I told you that we just got in what I believe to be one of the best computers, 8-bit wise, that Commodore ever made? What do you think it is? Now this is my own personal opinion. Are you ready to see? We'll do it right after this. Alright, well, I told a little faux pas in my last video. Okay? This is the best computer that I think I've ever owned. And it was one I've had for a number of years. I said the Commodore 128. This one's better. Do you know what it is? Commodore 128D? You were right. After I had my 64, I moved to the Commodore 128D, which I absolutely fell in love with. And I just got one of these beasts in. So much better than all the rest. The top of the line Commodore 8-bit computer. And today we're going to talk about why. I'm going to show you inside. And we're going to do an upgrade to it already, because I can't wait. Alright, so here it is out of the box. I just got that stuff out of the way using TV magic. So what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and move my 128 out of the way and get my 128D set up, because that's what I'm moving to. Now, what is the deal with the 128D? What makes it so special? Well, you see, they were trying to produce an 8-bit business class computer. And with the 128D, I personally feel that they succeeded. Now, this one in particular that I got in is a little special, but let's talk about the main features first. So basically, it's a Commodore 128, and what they did was they upgraded the video RAM from 16K to 64K. Does that make a difference? It kind of does in certain applications. They also went to a detached keyboard. Now the keyboard, people will say is the same as the 128, right? I don't know. I think that personally, it just has a better feel to it. Plus it's nice to move your keyboard away from your computer. Also included in the 128D was a 1571 disk drive built right in. Think about how nice that was. They also upgraded the ROMs a little bit and had a couple of bug fixes in here. Now this one in particular that I got actually has a licensed version of Jiffy in it. So let's go ahead and get it set up and at least make sure it powers up, since we just got it in. Before I go any further getting this hooked up, I did want to show this to you. So me and Maxie Dog are on a walk and I see somebody throwing this out. It is a Vizio and it's dirty. I'm going to give it a clean it before we go any further here. And it's one of those TV monitors. And I said, well, you know what? In the worst case, it'll be back out in my trash. In best case, it works. So we're going to go ahead and be using that for our demonstration today. Okay, almost there. So let's get this set. Look at that. Can you see that? That's amazing. I love when people throw things away. Alright. Plug my keyboard in. Now, like I said, this one has a licensed version of Jiffy in it. And I noticed that I noticed that the previous owner, me take a seat here so we can have a talk. I noticed that the previous owner installed a switch down here. Now I have no idea which way it goes or what, so let's go ahead and find out and see if it works. All right, not looking good. Maybe my new TV monitor here. 4080. Yes. Here. Oh, maybe I plugged the wrong cable in. Where is this cable? I did. Hey! And there it is in all its glory. All right, let's bring the camera a little closer. All right, that's a little better. So now we're down around the same angle so we can see what's going on here. All right, so what I said is that this computer has what's called a licensed version of Jiffy DOS in it. Now, Jiffy DOS was a DOS, disk operating system, that actually sped up the 1571, and you took one ROM went in there, and one ROM went in the computer itself and gave you a set of commands. If you're used to a fast loader cartridge, I actually used to use warp speed on my Commodore 128, but that was back in the day. Now I've moved to this cool Kung Fu Flash, and we can talk about this in the future. But Kung Fu Flash allows you to emulate a bunch of cartridges. So this is real cool and handy, and it takes a little SD card. You see that there? SD card. All right, so anyways, back to Jiffy DOS. So it was supposed to really speed up things, had a high level of compatibility, and you could switch it on and off. So apparently this is off. Now, the Commodore 128 also has a reset switch on the side of it. Watch, I'm going to hit it. Boom. You can hear the 1571 trying to spin up here. If you didn't know this, you can hold down the Commodore key, hit the reset, and take her into Commodore 64 mode. So it's almost identical to a regular Commodore 128, which is this guy here, just with the enhanced, the additional video memory and the couple of little bug fixes that went into the ROM. Other than that, 99% compatible. The 128 mode works beautiful. I had one of these. Like I said, truth be told, I moved from a 64 to a 128D back in the day, and I loved it. To me, I was spoiled because I didn't have to have the 128 and the external drive and carry all this stuff around. This is it. You know, this is just like your IBM compatible of the day. Okay, and don't forget, we'll talk about here in a minute how the Commodore 128 is actually broken down into effectively 3 different computers at once. Alright, so this is looking good. So I'm going to take it back to 128 mode. Let's see what flipping this, can I flip the switch? It's got 2 settings, I don't know if that's really right. Oh, and there it is. So on the screen it says normal Commodore stuff, and it says Jiffy DOS version 6.1. Now, I am not myself familiar with Jiffy DOS that much. Like I said, I'm more of a warp speed guy. Some of you might have used the mock cartridge or whatever. But no big deal. We'll print off a couple of sheets with some Jiffy DOS commands on it to get us going, and it'll be pretty cool. I don't know if I got anything around here. that we can load up to see if this drive works. What do I have available? Oh, I have this cool Commodore history disk, but it only works in 64 mode, so let's take her back to 60. I think it's just my label. Maybe weak spring in here? Alright. Let's take her back. Alright, let's see. I think... Oh, function key maybe? Hey! Uh-oh. Not looking good there. Let's try another one. See what else we got. I don't know how this drive, if it needs a cleaning, or... I have Commodore Pilot. Do you know about this? We'll do a video on this in the future. For educational programming, for designing educational programs for your classrooms. Pilot was the thing in the day. Ooh, I'm not liking this. Alright, let me try this Pilot and see what it does. I know one of these Pilots was good and one was not so. I don't like this. The drive here seems a little, this switch here seems a little funky. I don't know if it got bent or damaged in shipping. Okay, I know one of these works. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Since she had to come a long way via shipping, it could possibly be an alignment issue, or it could just be dirty. We will use our good old handy dandy disk cleaner to see if that fixes the problem. Alright, so everybody has a different way of cleaning disk, and everybody has different opinions. I don't mind using a disk cleaner. It's nice when you can, we're going to open the box in a little while and we could get in there with a Q-tip or whatever. I use alcohol, disk cleaner, a couple of drops on the disk cleaning disc, put her in there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just got to get a little loose or something. There we go. I'm going to do this a couple times. Let it run across the disk. Alright. Let's go ahead and see if we can get one of these bad boys to load now. I'm really interested. I thought that history was fine. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And there it is. So apparently, it looks like this drive's dirty. When we're in there, we'll give her a good cleaning. So I'm glad to see it doesn't seem to be an alignment issue. So there it is. It turns out Jiffy DOS gave me commands via the commands via the function keys. So I was just hitting F1 to give it a try, and it says @$:*. So I'm going to have to learn the conventions, how to do that, which ones are which. Looks like looks like just the first one. Ah! Oh, I wonder if it's got loaders. So let's see, run. Did it work? Hey! Begin ancient history. What was the home of the Oracle? I think it was Delphi. Hey! Alright, so there we go. Looks like she's up and going. Very cool. So now one of the things I have to show you is we're going to do what's called a Mega ROM upgrade. So I'm really excited to see this bad boy. And what it is it's the inside the Commodore 128. There's an empty ROM socket, and you can put a ROM in there. There's a guy I got on eBay, and I will put a link in the thingamabobber below and show you which one I got. So let's go ahead and get that installed. It's going to put an extra ROM in the Commodore 128. It should give us some extra programs or something. I don't really know what the dealio is. One of the ones I was after was just a built-in disk copier. But let's go ahead and get started. So to disassemble the Commodore 128D, one of the first things you're going to want to do is, of course, make sure you turn the power off. Okay? Pull all your cables. Don't want no cables. Disconnect your keyboard, which is just this cool cable, easy to do thing over here. Alright, so now what you're down to is just a case. And if you've never seen the back of a Commodore 128D, it's very similar to the back of a Commodore 128. In fact, we can take a look at that. So, cartridge port. Oh, where did the cassette port go? Serial, video, switch, RF, your 80 column monitor, RGBI, and the user port. Plus, you have a built-in power supply, okay, unlike the 128, and this is a nice beefy power supply and a switch. Now, where did that cassette go? Well, they just moved it on you. So no big deal. Over here on the side, you have your cassette port. Hey! Got a little rustic there. The keyboard, where the keyboard plugs in, and your joystick ports. And then you're also going to have a reset. Right there. See? Boop, 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 boop. Now what's this little one right here? That's actually a 1571 drive reset. So if you had something small, you could poke it in there if you need to reset just the 1571 disk drive. Alright, so how do we get this puppy apart? So it's real simple. It's just a couple of screws. It's 1, 2, 3, and then you gotta flip her over. Okay. And there's a screw here, and there's a screw here. Okay, so let me go ahead and get those out. We'll do some TV magic speed. Alright, so I pulled the 5 screws out. Now here comes the exciting part, so you don't have to sit there and watch me unscrew 5 screws. Let's crack this sucker open, and then we're going to talk about the Mega ROM 128. So, you just give her a little push, little friendly nudge, and there it is. Alright, so what do we got inside a Commodore 128? Well, it's actually laid out kind of cool. It's laid out in the sections, so like this is your 1571 section over here, and then over here is your Commodore 128 section. And you got your processors, you got your 8502, you actually have a Z80 in here, and then you have your assorted PLAs, your ROM chips, your SID, your video, your VDC chip, your video RAM. I think there's a bunch of that underneath the power supply, which is right here. Oh, this could be video RAM right here. Yep, I bet you this is video RAM right here. If it's not, it could be the 128 RAM. Alright, now I'm curious. Let's take a peek. Let's see what it is. 4164s. I bet you that is the 128K of memory. Very cool. All right, if you notice, we got the Jiffy DOS here. Here's the Jiffy DOS. Now this one is the 128 side of the Jiffy DOS. Remember I told you it was in two parts, one for the drive and one for the computer? So if you look underneath here, here's the drive one. Move my finger out of the way so you can see it is right there. Okay, and there, that is the drive version of the Jiffy DOS. So if you had a regular Commodore 128, you could add Jiffy DOS. One would go in your Commodore 128 and one would go in your 1571 disk drive. Okay, turn off my light. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to install. Why we got it open. Oh, we can't forget to clean our drive heads while we're here. Okay, so this is that extra ROM slot right here that all Commodore 128s have, and we're going to install that extra ROM in there. Kind of a neat idea that Commodore had, that you could put an extra ROM in there to get programs or whatever. Back in the day, I don't remember too much that actually went in there. I think everybody just added a cartridge. So, neat idea, I guess, but whatever. So, this is it. This is a Megabit128 1 megabit ROM chip with this little jumper cable that we got to install. And it goes in the slot here. And then it actually hooks on, according to the directions, this IC right here. Okay, that's where this little cable hooks on to. So I'm going to go ahead and, all right, hold on a sec. Let me get my goggles so I can see a little better. If you're like me, you've got a pair of these. So, all right, so let's see. All right, I think I got it. Hopefully it's not touching anything else. Okay, and then we'll plug this in the ROM slot, making sure that the cable that is labeled up, plugged in up, I have done that already, and this part goes towards the power supply. Now let's make sure we get all the pins in. And give her a little push down. All right, there it is. Well, before I put the lid back on, why don't we go ahead and put the cables in and see if it comes up. All right, so I'm going to put the cables in first. I think I only need that and the power. Oh, I'm going to need the keyboard. And the keyboard. Okay, watch out for the lid. Alright, we ready? Let me get you a little view here so you can see the screen like me. Alright, let's see if I got it. Alright, now you're just supposed to be able to hit the help key, I believe. Hey! And there it is. So, internal ROM, menu 1 of 3. And look at all the programs you get on this. Let me zoom in a little so you can see too. Adjust that a little bit. There we go. I don't know how clear that is. Hopefully it's at least halfway clear. So, Merlin, disk editors, VisiStar, Fast Track File Copy, Monitor Basic Data Maker, Menu 1. Press stop to exit, press space the next menu. Z128, Basic Merge, File Copy, File Copies, Nibbler, Dual Nibbler, Single Nibbler, Maverick, Track and Sector Maverick, File Tracer, the 64K VDC RAM test. Ooh, we got to give that a run. And then, hey, Basic 8. Leaderboard, that's interesting. I mean, like the golf game? KeyDOS, Servant, Solitaire 128. So, Serious Repton. Okay, looks like there's a couple games on here too. I want to give the VDC test though. Let's see what it does. This program tests a 64K 80-column video RAM in the Commodore 128D or Commodore 128 with 64K RAM installed. Failure of this test indicates one or more bad or improperly installed RAM chip. This test works only for 64K RAM. Hit space to continue. There we go. Hey, there it is. And F8 to go back to basic. And there it is. Let's go ahead and reset it. All right. Now, one of the things else I talked about was that I'm going to show you, I'm going to clean the heads. So this drive is right here, 1571. And what I'm going to do, first make sure your power's off. Okay, I'm going to get, okay, hold on. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this, and I told you we'd clean the heads, and I'm just going to put a little alcohol on the Q-tip, apparently a little more than just a little. Okay, computer off, and if you want, unplug it, make sure it's unplugged. Good safety. All right, now I'm just going to take it, I'm going to gently put it in here, and I'm going to rub it on the heads a little bit. Get the dirt off. And I'm not seeing too much, but I mean, obviously there was a problem here, so you can put the Q-tip in there, you can shut the lid if you like, push it down a little bit, try not to bend it or anything. Alright, take a little, just a little Q-tip around to see if there's anything else that is causing a ruckus in here. Doesn't really look too bad from the Q-tip itself. It does look a little dirty. Why don't we go ahead and see if we can load something now. So let's go ahead and back the camera a little bit. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I want to, where's that Commodore history? And kick this up a little bit. See if this Commodore history runs. Oh, let me just go ahead and do this. Start it. And 64 mode. I'm going to hit my. Okay, looks like it's. Oh, there it is. I think it just needed to resettle a little bit. Like I said, I'm still not crazy about this handle here in front. I don't know if I can pop it out a little bit. Here, let's see if that fixes it. I had just taken, I'll show you. I just came down and took my knife and just pushed it out a little bit. That's a pretty good fit. Oh, and it seems to be loaded the graphic correctly. Let's go ahead and see if she'll load a program. Good. What was that? All right. Seems to be running good. And there it is. Okay. All right, so why don't we stop there? And we'll talk about the 128D later. One of the things we're going to have to talk about is that now, because you have a built-in 1571, realize that, like even when we were doing our 4-line program, make sure you check out the video before, I was actually saving it and loading it off this little guy here. Which is set up for drive 8. Now, there is a way to set drive select switches on this 1571, but I think we'll save that for a future video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, at least for right now, on the Commodore 128D, seeing one of these beasts, a little bit of talk about it, cleaning the drive head of the 1571, and the Megabit ROM with very cool features that you simply hit the help key on the keyboard. So please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. It's always good to talk to you guys and hear about Commodores, vintage computers, and other things. I'll see you in the next video.